Hello students, I am Dr. Sapna Agarwal and we are once again with ATP Star, your learning platform, and we are going to talk about English, and today I am going to do something very interesting. Actually, it changes the complete meaning in English. You know, after your BITSAT exam also, I would definitely suggest you that some of you pick up a few idioms and phrases and start using in your routine language. I think they'll be so much fun. See, I come from an armed forces background, and you know, we sometimes use these words and we try to implement them in various ways, and it changes the entire connotation of what we are trying to speak. So, you know, when you have to do a subtle humor, when you have to do, when you actually don't want to be sarcastic but you still want to say something, idioms and phrases are there. But why am I talking when I'm talking about BITSAT? And why am I putting so much of emphasis on idioms and phrases? Well, dear students, it is a competitive exam and we need to prepare. We will not leave anything which can, there's a probability that it might come in the examination in the older papers when we see that, yeah, there are chances. And especially in your comprehension, which I had done the other day, there are chances that you get to see idioms and phrases in between. Well, after your BITSAT, I mean this particular attempt, sometime I'm going to spend a whole lot of time with you and tell you the art and the science behind idioms and phrases, that how they were made. You know, some of the idioms and phrases, they have a story associated with them, and some of them they have actual anecdotes associated with them. So it can be super fantastic. But today, in sort of a nutshell, I'm going to spend some time with you, and I'm going to spend and tell you about exactly about idioms and phrases and how you are going to attempt an examination. Okay, so now what happens is, now you know, idioms and phrases, some of them they have a direct meaning. You know, you look at it and you come to know it is it. And some of them they do not have a direct meaning. So you look at it and you feel it should be this, but it isn't. So you know what I am trying to do you over here, I mean with you today, is I'm trying to give you a glimpse of variety of idioms and phrases and how you can remember the meaning, you know. So the best way to know is that how you can remember the meaning of it. Once you know it, once you've grasped the idea, in my suggestion, in my purview, I do not see a separate question of idiom and phrases coming, but I definitely see idiom and phrases coming in your comprehensions or coming in your PQRS sequence, and that can be a troublesome. So that is why I've picked up a couple of those popular ones which have been, you know, seen in these kind of exams. So let's begin with it. Okay, right. By now you know my name, and do not forget it. I'm going to be there with you always when you are preparing for all these competitions. Okay, so now let's start with it. To hold something in leash. Try to identify, whenever you see an idiom or a phrase, try to identify something which you know, a word where you know the meaning. So now when you see the word leash, so when you see the word leash, you know that there is something called as, okay, I'll use the pen. So you know leash, why is it used for? So leash is used for a variety of things. Leash, it is used to tie a dog, it is, you know, so all these. So you're trying to hold. So hold something in leash. Are you trying to get the meaning of it? Yeah. So before we go to the meaning of it, by now your mind has started thinking. So, you know, let's see the meaning. To restrain, to hold. Now this idiom or a phrase, what is it? It almost has a direct meaning to it. Almost has a direct meaning to it. Right. So when you see something of this kind, hooray, you know, it's perfectly fine. But when you see something, let's see, I have got a whole lot of them, but I'm going to do a limited set of the idioms and phrases with you. The idea is not to prolong your preparation, but to cut it short and be able to give you the right idea. Okay, so here it is. Let's see then. Oh wow, I really like it. I really like it when it says to wrangle over an ass's shadow. Oh my God. So what is wrangling? I mean, I've done vocabulary also with you, right? So vocabulary is something which I've already told you that you have to make vocabulary as your innate habit of learning new words. They'll be handy anywhere. So, you know, when you become technocrats and when you go to the world, you become speakers, those vocabulary words will be very helpful to you. Well, so any ideas what is coming to your mind when it is wrangle? You know, wringing the clothes, something like that comes to your mind? Okay, so let's see the meaning. You know, try to identify a word which helps you out. Now here, to quarrel over trifles. So to quarrel over trifles. Trifle means something very. Now let us understand how do we get the meaning. Now this idiom and phrase is almost, it gives you the direct meaning. Okay, let us see how. Now if you see over here, to wrangle, I spoke about wrangle, over an ass's shadow. Now when we are using this word asses, so it means, that animal is not like a lion, so it doesn't hold that importance. Even if it has some economic importance somewhere, it doesn't hold that importance. So it must be something trifle, it must be just one of the animal from the animal kingdom, right? So that is why the meaning which comes over here is very simple, to quarrel over trifles. Trifle is something which is very petty, very small, and you really don't need to waste time over it. Okay. Now let's see the next one. What do you see on the screen? Well, that's very interesting. Okay, now to play fast and loose. Fast and Fury movie all of you have seen. Yeah? I'm sure. If not, doesn't matter. Right, okay. So doesn't matter. Don't waste your time to see that movie right now. After your exam, when you have time, you can see that movie. I saw it because my sons were really engaged watching it. And I thought, okay, let me give them some company. So to play fast and loose. Okay, what is the meaning? Try to understand it, and then I'm going to explain it to you. What do you see over here on the screen? To hurt somebody's feelings or to play tricks. Got it? How simple was it? The phrase, if I go back, if I go back, I remove the meaning for a while and I go back to the word. It says to play fast and loose. Fast means you're trying to play a trick, and loose means you're not actually upright. We are not doing the right thing, and that is why immediately the meaning emerged. That is the meaning over here, to hurt somebody's feelings. The better one over here is to play tricks. Right, so that is how we get the meanings of idioms and phrases. Are you enjoying it? I'm sure. So you can let me know if you're enjoying it. You can let me know later, sometimes after exams when you get selected and you really want to spend time and have some fun with English and you really want to hear these stories, let me know. I'll be there with you. And I'm going to do something very, very interesting. Right, so don't miss on that. Okay, now here, what do you see? Oh, I opened the meaning immediately. My fault, but does not matter. You can learn it. It is important. It's new. You haven't heard it ever, but I have heard it in the exams. The word is 𝐜𝐴𝐺𝐽, and the word 𝐜𝐴𝐺𝐽 means, the phrase I mean to say, it means restlessness. 𝐜𝐴𝐺𝐽, getting restless just before your results are about to come, just before the exams happen. There's a lot of anxiety. We tend to sometimes, we feel that, no, it's not correct. You feel a little different. So that is 𝐜𝐴𝐺𝐽. Restless. Okay, very simple. Does it confuse you that the idiom and phrase has to be a long one or has to have some minimum words? No. It's never like that. There is no size to an idiom or a phrase. There can be, a phrase could be actually like a sentence, half a sentence or so. So I mean, there can be wonderful things done with all these. Okay, so remember it. You can note it down. You can remember it for future. So that's 𝐜𝐴𝐺𝐽. You can use it in a sentence too. Why are you 𝐜𝐴𝐺𝐽? Everything is going to be fine. Everything is going to, in case you want to use some slang, everything is going to be fine. Okay, so that is how you can start using it. Well, I'm not giving you the usage today because usage is not directly applicable in your competitive exam, which is just there for you. But yes, as I promised you, sometime later in life we can always do usage, right? So it will definitely help you out. Now the next idiom or a phrase which you see over here is to give up the ghost. Do you find a friendly word over here? How many of you have always been talking about ghosts and you feel that no, we are not, we don't believe in ghosts, and some of you say, we believe in ghosts. Well, I mean, I'm a person who is from a science background, and I believe I have a scientific aptitude, and when I see physics, chemistry and biology, well, it's something very natural to me. Well, I'll talk to it about a little later. So give up to the ghost is to die. So so there was something which is going to happen, somebody scared you and you left everything, so you die. So this die does not mean that the remains are left, death. It does not come with the word death, right? It comes with no, this is not over here. But it simply means what, right. It simply what it means is that you have given it up to the ghost. You didn't live up to the occasion. You didn't stand for something. Somebody scared you, somebody tried not exactly to play a prank, but actually tried to make you fearsome, and you got, so that is it, you die, to die. right? And as students, as aspirants, as a human being, as an individual, we cannot give up the ghost. We can never. Till the time we live, we are going to make it not only possible for us to live and thrive, but we are going to make it possible for a lot of people around us and ensure that they also not only survive, but they thrive. Well, students, vocabulary is naturally going to come when I speak with you. Even if I speak routine, a couple of words, it happens. Though I try to speak English as simple as possible, but sometimes it happens. Okay, so now let's see the next idiom and a phrase. It's like to snap one's finger. Right. Or maybe like this, when you pull, that is also snapping the fingers. Well, I've never done it, so that sound won't come. When some people, they are doing tuck, 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 tuck like this, and they create a lot of sound. So that is snapping one finger. So what is the meaning? To be anxious. The moment I gave you this example, tuck, 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 it was clear in your mind. That is, it is to be anxious. So when somebody is restless, when somebody is moving, somebody is fidgety, right? Somebody is waiting for somebody is not really focusing on a thing. There is something else which is going on in mind. It is like to snap one fingers. You're restless, you start shaking your leg, you start bouncing your legs. You feel some of them, they even start biting their nails and all. So that is what it is, to snap one's fingers. And that is to get restless. Okay, to be anxious, sorry. Okay, now, by now you've started getting hang of idiom and phrases. So by now when I do the 6th or the 7th idiom or a phrase with you, you've started getting the hang. Okay, now what you see over here is a pipe dream. Well, I am going to talk about it a little bit. Right, let's see the meaning. An impractical plan. Now, when we see dream, we actually dream big. So you never actually see a dream through a keyhole or a pipe hole. I mean, why would somebody do that? If you're not clear, you're actually just scared, feared, unclear, a lot of ambiguity, doubt, unclarity, right? So all those things are there. So that's a pipe dream. We do not know, does it open up into the world? We really do not know, that is have a dead end. So why would, or if there's an L bend over there or something, we'll get stuck up something. So whenever we are dreaming, we dream. Okay, so this is an impractical plan. A fantastic idiom and a phrase. It has been covered in variety of exams. Like I have seen this idiom and a phrase not only in BITSAT, but I have seen it in a couple of other exams also. And it's very applicable to the age group which you are there. So I believe that, that is why the phrases which I have chosen, the idioms which I have chosen from the pool which comes in most of these premier exams, and it has been seen in previous years, right? So again, what you see over here is this. Try to remember it. It's an easy one, a pipe dream. Okay. Well, I would also like to talk something very interesting over here. See, what happens is there's a difference between school education and this competitive. And I've been speaking on the other platforms also, even on my channel, I've been speaking about it, right? So what happens is when children are studying in school, it's actually like, it's an open pipeline. It's a sort of an open pipeline, not dirt drainage, but an open pipeline. So everybody enters and everybody moves out, passes out. Somebody doesn't pass out in the first attempt, passes out in the second attempt. But when it is competition, it's slightly different. It's like a funnel. So there's so many who put efforts into it, but there's, there's a lot of struggle to for all of those who really make it out. So that is it. So a lot of philosophy. You're going to say, Sapna ma'am, you're talking a lot of philosophy, you're talking a lot of things, but I do, and that is all part of English, and that makes a lot of difference. Okay, now let's see the next one. Okay, here. To stand to one's guns. Wow, what a super one. I mean, oh my God, immediately. Let's understand the meaning. Perseverance when hardships press. Yes. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That's it. I told you, I'm from the armed forces background, and it's going to come. It's going to come over here. So that is to stand to one's guns, perseverance. I remember when I was in class 5, I was passing out my school. At that time, my first ever award of this kind was, I was given an award for perseverance. That is an all-round personality. Hey, I don't mean by size, right? When I say all-round personality, that is like I was able to do a lot of things altogether. Okay, so that is what is perseverance, that when there are a lot of hardships, you still are thinking on B plans and C plans, and you don't give it away to the hardships. Whenever it is human beings, whenever it is life, every day, day to day, hardships are going to come, challenges are going to come. Who is a person who doesn't face a challenge? How would the person know, I mean, what the life would be without challenge? How the person would know what would be happiness without a struggle? You know, it's always good to have some struggle. You feel really good that you've evolved out of it and you've done a lot of things put together. Okay, let's move a little ahead. Right, and I'm going to do a few more quick pass with you, and then, okay, to lose one's end, we are going to move with a few idioms and phrases, not going to spend much time. Right, it'll give you a practice. Okay, so I'll move this side so you are able to read it. To become confused and overexcited, to lose one's head. So, you know, somebody gives you a picture, oh, you're going to do this, you're going to become this in life. You lose head. This is the person who's going to take me over there. So, you get confused, you move away from your A plan, your focus, you lose your focus, and then you get overexcited, and this can be disastrous many a times. Not always, most of the times it is going to be disastrous. Right. So, you are not going to lose head. You are not going to allow to anybody, I mean, whom you are concerned about, to lose head, and never for yourself. Okay. The next word which we, phrase which we see over here is by the skin of one's teeth. Again, a very, very interesting one. Only just. You know, jisko bolte na, just in the nick of time you were saved, like skin of the teeth. You were just saved by that fraction of a second. So that is by the skin of one's teeth. Don't spend much time on it. It is not as important. I haven't seen it coming very often. Right. Okay. So let's move ahead. That's it. To throw one's glove. Okay. To give a challenge. To throw one's glove. Aaja beta. That is something like that. Come. I'm going to see you. How many of you have been playing this, you know, panja kind of a thing with your friends and all? That is it. To throw one's glove. That it could be, or it could be anything. In the football ground, in a hockey ground, somewhere, you know, tug of war. You say, okay, come, let's going to see. Sometimes even in your competitive subjects, how many questions do you solve in 1 hour? So that is also to throw one's glove. You give a challenge to each other. So that is it. Okay. So when I give you all these stories around an idiom or a phrase, that is my way of teaching. I believe when I do all these things, children tend to remember more. You know, in case you do not remember something, you remember some other thing when I was speaking with you. So, you know, there's the relationship built. So English becomes easy because most of the students who are preparing for PCM or PCB, you're preparing for your IITs or you're preparing for your medical exams, the tendency is to put English at a distance and, you know, just cover it just before your exams. So that is why when I give all these imaginations, I make you take you in the world of imagination. So here what happens is, you're going to remember something or the other. Definitely you're going to remember something. In exam, I mean, it is going to strike you the right answer, right? Okay. Now, to be in abeyance. Now, this word abeyance, I'm going to talk about in vocabulary also because it's an important word. Let's try to understand what is the meaning of it. In suspense. Yeah, that is in abeyance, in suspense. Right. Even this word as an isolated word, you can remember. You can try to remember this word as an isolated word also. It's a good word. Right? A good vocabulary word also. Not only for idioms and phrases, but otherwise also. Let's see the other one. To chip off the old block. Okay. It means, what does it mean? Try to read it. Now, it is characteristics of one's ancestors. Chip off the old block. How do you use it? Here I am going to tell you, because this idiom or a phrase you will understand with the usage. So, when you see a particular child, you say, he has, I mean, old habits never die. The genes reflect. The DNA speaks, you know, everything. Everything is getting fitted over here. The DNA speaks. So it is something like, oh my God, he is a pass out from XYZ school and it's like a chip off the old block. So, you know, all pass outs from that particular school, they all speak this language. So it's not only about genetics, it is also about, the habits, what your alumni have been teaching you in a particular, you know, different pass outs from different prestigious schools or colleges, they do have common characteristics. So, you know, it happens with me also. I mean, there are a few, you know, we call it a lingo, school lingo, we speak in that particular style, we speak in that particular way. So that is a chip of an old block. Have you understood it? It's very interesting, it's very simple, and I'm sure you're going to use this somewhere in your life later on. And when you use it, don't forget Sapna ma'am. Okay, now here, to take people by storm. Easy, very easy. Yeah, to captive team unexpectedly. Somebody said, oh my God, it's something like Chidiya naal te baaj ladawa. Right, okay. And those chidiyas, they took over the bajes. Got it? So it's like to take people by storm. Suddenly people said, no, you're not going to make it. And you tell them, okay, in the toppers list? Wow. So that is how it is, right? To captive team unexpectedly. You know, generally it is used for a team game, but I've given you an example on your self also, and it happens. So it's not like actually a surprise, it's only hard work. It's only sustained work which you've been doing constantly, and you were never complacent. You never were complacent while the others could be. So that is how it really helps you becoming better than the others each day. Okay, now here, let's see the next word, to throw up the sponge. Okay, now it means to surrender or give up the contest. Okay, what is a sponge? I told you in the beginning, you have to identify a word, you have to identify a character. So what is a sponge? A sponge is something which absorbs everything, right? And keeps lying like that. Does a sponge move itself? No. Right, it doesn't move itself all by itself. No, it is there. It is just keep lying. You put water into it, after it stops. When it is like, okay, saturated, the water will be all around it, but it will still keep lying over there, right? Unless the process of evaporation happens over there. So to surrender or give up to the contest. Okay, I can't do it. I can't take more than that. No, I cannot. Got it? It's very simple. Okay, now the next one. What do you see over here? Harp on. Harping. It's very harp. Okay. Now what you see over here is to keep on talking. I was giving you an example. Harp. You know, somebody keeps on harping about, oh my, you know, I come from such and such family, and you know, we have people, those, oh my God, it's like actually flaunting, it's like overdoing, you know, anything. So harp actually is a sort of a loud thing, you know, when somebody is unnecessarily loud, boasting. Very simple word, right? So that's very interesting. Okay, the next one, to catch somebody on the hop too. Okay, now here, to catch somebody off guard. Well, let's skip past it. It isn't for you actually. I just wrote it over here. We can just skip past. Okay, now let's move. Okay, this is very important. To spell the beans. Now, what does it mean? To reveal secret information. Remember it. Never do it. And in case you start working after you qualify, where you have to keep the secrecy of the mission, where you have to actually hold the thing unless the entire presentation, the D-Day comes, do not spill the beans. Because you know, sometimes what happens when we are in too much of hurry and when we say that, you know, oh, if I do this, everybody knows me before the others. So there's a lot of, you require a lot of grit to be part of the team and to be able to prove yourself still being part of that team and stand out individually. You remember when Mangalyaan and from ISRO everything was going on, all the scientists, they were working together, but there were still some people who stood out, right? And because they never spilled the beans, right? Because they never revealed the secret information, whatever it is, they're working as a team together. So wonderful. Well, even if I say that I'm not going to explain and express, it is going to come to me naturally, because you know, how can I just do an idiom and a phrase moving ahead without talking to you? Because it is not only the idiom and a phrase and a meaning, and an idiom and a phrase and a meaning. Come on, I'm not here for that. And I cannot do it. Okay, now here, to bring one's egg to a bad market. Okay, that's very interesting. Wow, super. Now look over here. To fail in one's plan because one goes to the wrong people for help. Right, when you're looking for professionals, when you're looking for help, you have to actually go to the right people, right? So, you know, telling somebody is not right, it's my wrong idea, my bad idea. Everybody is right. The only thing is you have to identify, is that person right for you? As simple as that. Okay, so that is it. After, and I'm not talking in your competitive years, I am talking about your future years now, because in competitive years, you see, you really have to trust and keep working very hard, because you have to, you're the only one. The others, we are only facilitators for you. We can only facilitate the process. We can mentor you, we can guide you. That's the end of it. Because finally it's your hard work. Finally it's how much you remember. Finally how much you put it in the exam. Finally it's like, okay, I've done it. You know, I'm there. I have that confidence in me. Okay. So now here it is, to bring one's egg to bad market is like, you couldn't identify the difference between right people and wrong people. So does it mean that you don't have a sense, no, a common sense? No, it doesn't have. It happens with everybody. Maybe, you know, sometimes with all these years of experience, I personally could have bought my egg to a bad market. Maybe I trusted a person who was not worth trusting. So it's okay, you know, once in a while it happens. But when it is happening, you know, you heard in Hindi, kaat ki handi baar baar nahi chadti. Muhavra you have heard, no? So idiom and phrase, haan. So you know, you cannot bring it again and again. Once you've done a mistake, it's okay, right? Let me give you another idiom or a phrase. To err is human. Huh? You heard it. To err is human. So to correct is also human. Who's going to come and correct? Is there somebody else going to come and correct? I mean, this is my design. This is my design. This is my belief, and I have always believed and followed it like that. It's okay to err. You know, people, those who work hard, they err. Err means error. They make mistakes. It's okay. Somebody who isn't working, what error is a person going to make? Tell me. So somebody who is working, only that person is going to make a mistake. Doesn't matter. But to correct is also human. Okay, so that is something very nice. Let's move ahead. Okay, I think I did it. It is sorry, I'm going back. Yeah, I didn't realize. Sorry. Okay. The next is, okay, the next is to get cold feet, to be afraid. To get cold feet is to be afraid. You get numb, sunna pad jana. It's something like that. You see something, not possible. I can't do it. Right? So that is how it is. Okay, that very interesting. To be at daggers drawn, to be bitter enemy. मतलब उसकी शक्ल देखते ही गुस्सा आ गया. Daggers drawn. पक्की दुश्मनी. दूर से भी देख लिया वो कोई निकल के जा रहा और आपको लगता है कि ओके नहीं बात ही नहीं करनी. You know, daggers drawn. You crossing. आप एस्केलेटर पे चढ़ रहे हो, एक ऊपर एस्केलेटर जा रहा है, एक नीचे एस्केलेटर आ रहा है, and you see each other and you feel like so that is what is daggers drawn. It's something like to be really, really bitter at heart. Somebody has really hurt you, right? No more philosophy over here. I know you were expecting that ma'am is going to give a story and say, no, you don't need to be that bitter. It's okay. No, I'll not say that. It's okay. We'll talk sometime else. To save one's face is a very easy and an interesting one. That is to evade disgrace. Right. To save one's face is, okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, so there was a competition going on, I mean a fight going on, and somebody was just about to lose. And that final, वो कुश्ती में जो होता है ना, final पटकी, and it was like, yay, okay. So that is it, to evade disgrace. You know, everybody said ये तो हार जाएगा, but वो आखिरी पटकी जो मारा, उसमें वो जीत गया. So that is simple. Real to life happens. Okay, let's see the next one, to blaze trail. Okay, that is to initiate work in a movement. मतलब क्या था कि अकेला ही चला था पर काफिला बन गया. आपने कोई चीज़ चलाई, आप कोई मिशन लेकर चले और लोग जुड़ते चले गए. So that is what is to blaze trail. Got it? Interesting? Okay, right. So that is how idioms and phrases आपको दिखाई देगा कि हाँ ये तो हमारी ज़िंदगी के आसपास का हिस्सा है और competition में आना ही चाहिए. Because it is something like they try to check your wit. They try to check how much can you outwit. Okay. Now that is a tall order. It's a very simple one. A task difficult to perform. Something which is difficult to perform, that is a tall order. बड़ा मुश्किल से हो रहा है, हो नहीं रहा है, that is. Okay, okay, that's it. Okay, a very simple one. चलिए जल्दी से दो चार और कर लेते हैं, फिर बातें करेंगे idioms and phrases के बारे में. To draw bead upon, to take aim at. That is it. To draw bead upon, to take aim at. ये तो मैंने आपको archery के साथ दिखाया. आपका क्या aim है? Right? Have you drawn bead? I mean upon something which you want to achieve. You take 1, 2, 3, 4 beads ताकि आप कहीं ना कहीं successful हो जाएं. It's okay, perfectly fine, right? Okay. Now all and sundry, everything without distinction. सब बराबर हैं, all and sundry. अच्छा, बुरा, गधा, घोड़ा, everybody. कोई distinction नहीं है. I mean you cannot work at a place where people do not understand the value of your place. So that is all and sundry. हाँ, ये कई भी जगह बहुत सारी connotations के साथ use होता है. अच्छा, interesting है, comprehensions में काफ़ी मिलता है. Right? Okay, now. To tempt providence, that is to take reckless risks. मतलब bravery ठीक है, बट फालतू की ब्रेवरी रॉन्ग है। मतलब ब्रेव हो तो जाओ लड़ो ना बॉर्डर पे जाकर, दिखाओ दुश्मन को, मतलब नाको चने चिपवा दो। महाराणा प्रताप शिवाजी महाराज ने यही तो किया था, राइट? यस और नो? हाँ किया था उन्होंने। लेकिन मोटरसाइकिल चलाएंगे एक पहिए पर सड़क पर जहाँ पर और ट्रैफिक चल रहा है, भाई अपनी चिंता नहीं है, दूसरों की तो कर लो, राइट? सो यू कैन नॉट टू टेम्प प्रोविडेंसेस टू टेक रेकलेस रिस्क। पागलपने के लिए करते हैं। सेंसिबल पीपल विल नेवर एवर डू इट। वो करेंगे तो राइट जगह पर करेंगे। लोग तो एस्ट्रोनॉट बन के जा रहे हैं ना, बिल्कुल जाइए, आप ट्रेनिंग लीजिए, प्रैक्टिस करिए, वर्दी बनिए वहाँ तक जाने के लिए, करिए। लोग स्कूबा डाइविंग करते हैं, प्रॉपर प्रोफेशनल वाली करिए। लोग क्या क्या नहीं करते हैं। तो वो मतलब इसको बोलते हैं ना कि वो रेकलेस रिस्क नहीं लेते, वो सेंसिबल कैलकुलेटेड रिस्क लेते हैं। हाँ ये हुआ, ठीक है, वापस नहीं आऊँगा, पर होगा तो ये करके आएंगे। तो मतलब इट्स समथिंग लाइक दैट। ओके, फ्रेंच लीव, इट इज समथिंग लाइक विदाउट परमिशन। चले गए जी। हाँ, फ्रेंच के साथ और भी कुछ दिमाग में आ रहा है, वेट डोंट, अभी वो बात नहीं करेंगे अभी। सो फ्रेंच लीव इज एब्सेंस विदाउट परमिशन। बस चले गए उठ के, किसी को बताया ही नहीं। पूछ रहे हैं लोग कहाँ पर क्या चले गए, राइट? कहाँ आएंगे कि नहीं आएंगे पता ही नहीं, कब आएंगे। एक दिन छुट्टी गए, 2 दिन छुट्टी गए, 3 दिन छुट्टी गए। तो इसको मैं तो आई कॉल दिस काइंड ऑफ पीपल भगोड़ाज। You have to tell where's the problem. Just tell whatever the hell the problem was. Just tell somebody, and there's no need to take French leave. Just take a leave. Okay, right. Now to have brush with, that means to have a slight encounter. Right, halka sa. While I was crossing the jungle, I had a slight brush with the tiger. ऐसा नहीं कि आप जाकर लड़ लिए ना, देखा आपने टाइगर और आप बस चुपचाप निकल लिए अपनी गाड़ी लेकर। जंगली हाथी देखा, आपने बिना हॉर्न बजाए चुपचाप धीरे धीरे निकल लिए। तो दैट इज अ स्लाइट ब्रश विथ। ओके, सो दैट इज समथिंग। ओके, नाउ टू पुल, ये तो बचपन में सुना है, टू पुल वन सॉक्स अप। हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव हर्ड? आई एम श्योर मेरे जैसे टीचर्स तो बोलते ही होंगे, मेरे जैसे स्कूल प्रिंसिपल्स तो बोलते ही होंगे ऐसी बातें, है ना? तो इट इज टू ट्राई हार्ड, कीप ट्राइंग हार्ड, यू कैन डू इट, you have it in you and you can do it. Okay, so that is it. To blow hot and cold, that means to be inconsistent. कभी ये कभी वो, कभी ये कर लें कभी वो कर लें, भाई जो मर्जी कर लो कर लो, so, बोलने की जगह कर लो। So that is something like don't blow hot and cold, whatever you want to do we are there with you, कर लो। So that is the philosophy behind it, no more kahani behind it। And with this, to beggar's description, and that means beyond one's power to describe adequately, beggar's description। presentations देंगे आप कॉलेजेस के अंदर, ये काम आएगा। आपके कोई टीचर की अच्छी वोकैबुलरी हो तो बोल सकते हैं आपको, we don't want any beggar's description। माने कि आप जो चीज़ समझा रहे हैं उसको ज़रा सही तरीके से समझाएं। आपने देखा होगा स्कूल में लॉट ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स दे स्टैंड अप एंड से, सी यू नो, भाई इफ आई नो व्हाई आई एम आस्किंग यू, आई नो इट, ओके थैंक यू। So there's nothing called you know. I'm here, sir, ma'am, I'm here to present this, and just go ahead and present with a lot of clarity. It should not be a beggar's description. याद है ना मैंने शुरू में आपसे क्या बात कही थी? तो चलिए अब आपसे वही बात करती हूँ। मैंने बहुत सारे idioms and phrases करे, मेरे पास तो बहुत बड़ी repository है, मैं आपके साथ और बहुत सारे कर सकती हूँ। लेकिन मैंने आपसे क्या कहा था? Identify a word जो आपको familiar सा लगे उसके अंदर। अगर familiarity मिल गई तो आप उसका अंदाज़ा लगा लेंगे। यहाँ पर मैंने आपको चॉइसेस के साथ नहीं कराया। क्यों? क्योंकि ये कॉम्प्रिहेंशन बेस में आएगा और ये आपके लर्निंग के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। हाँ, आपको सही मीनिंग आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए बहुत इजी होगा। जैसे एक आखिरी करती हूँ और इसके बाद रुकते। टू प्लाउ द सैंड्स, प्लाउ का मतलब है कुछ भी ट्रैक्टर से चलाना, बैल के साथ चलाना, खुद प्लाउइंग करना, द सैंड्स। तो क्या पॉसिबल मीनिंग हो सकता है? देखो पढ़ लो, बहुत इजी है, आ गया समझ में। टू बिजी वन सेल्फ इन अ वे विच कैनॉट लीड टू एनी प्रॉफिटेबल रिजल्ट। मतलब सैंड में खेती करते रहो, होगा क्या? नहीं होगा ना। खेती तो सही तरह की मिट्टी में होगी ना। आ गया ना समझ में? सो बाय नाउ व्हाट यू हैव अंडरस्टूड इज दैट इडियम एंड फ्रेज इज अ वेरी कॉमन सेंस वाला चीज़। यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई अ वर्ड और टू जो आपको थोड़े से फेमिलियर लगे, उनका मीनिंग आपको समझ में आ जाए और मोस्ट प्रोबेबल मीनिंग पर आप करें। कहीं पर बहुत कन्फ्यूजन हो तो ठीक है, यू कैन यूज द एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक एंड यू कैन ट्राई टू डू इट। So with this, dear students, I always say that English is a fantastic लैंग्वेज एंड आई बिलीव इट शुड कम इन ऑल कॉम्पिटिशन्स. एटलीस्ट पता तो चले कि क्या होगा, बिकॉज आपकी सारी बुक्स इंग्लिश में होने वाली. लैंग्वेज इज़ अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. यू नो, लैंग्वेज के बेस के बिना आप कैसे कोई भी चीज़ पढ़ाई कर सकते हैं. So with this, let's say bye-bye for today from Idioms and Phrases, and I'm going to see you very soon back with lot more many other things. So bye-bye students, see you again.